What's going on, boxing fans? It's Kenneth, SBM Boxing. Let's speak boxing. You can visit us on web at www.sbmboxing.com. You know, every video that I make, you know, I gotta pour myself a drink. This video is brought to you by the real Sangria. Sangria, that's the drink right there, man. Put some fruit in it and stuff like that. You watch my past videos. Already have my fight predictions. I'm back. You know, I've been busy with work and stuff like that. Just creating these videos, you know. Gave my fight prediction with lower this a little bit. Gave my fight prediction with Magalhaes versus Adrian Broner. That fight's going to take place on 22nd in the Barclays Center in Brooklyn, New York. I'm going to have to go catch that fight, you know. That's going to be my first fight I'm going to go catch with SBM Boxing. Try to cover it when I can, but I'm probably going to be a little bit too drunk. But I'm going to be there. I'm going to be on the scene. I'm definitely going to have to catch my tickets. I'll probably get them tomorrow or the following day. Catch my flight, but I'm definitely going to be there. So if you guys are going to be in the Barclays Center, you're going to see me. I'm going to be the dude that's going to be stumbling and acting the fool. But anyways, cheers. I'm going to see Adrian Broner go to town on Magalhaes. But, you know, I created this video. Let's go ahead and talk some boxing. All right, I'm going to talk some boxing. Talking about Floyd Mayweather Jr. versus Canelo Alvarez. Finally, it's going to take place September 14th at the MGM Grand. Now, hold on one second. Before I go ahead and give my fight prediction and what I think is going to go down, I just want to clear the airway. I know you hear this all the time. I hear the SBM, you know, at the Boxing Genius's house. You know what? I'm a little tipsy. It's like 1 o'clock in the morning. But we're still talking boxing. You know, I haven't created videos in a while, but you know what? I'm going to start creating videos, give my fight prediction, keep it live. But before I go ahead and tell you my fight prediction with Canelo Alvarez versus Floyd Mayweather Jr., I just want to give a complete breakdown. You know, boxing fans, you guys hear this all the way. There are debates for days with Floyd Mayweather Jr. just ducking and dodging and being scared and stuff like that. The guy's 43-0 for a reason. Just give him respect. Give him respect when respect is due. You know what? Just see it for what it is. Ducking and dodging, whatever you want to say, but this guy has not got his respect ever since he beat Gotti. You know, rest in peace, Gotti. You know, but since he beat Gotti, Arturo Gotti, he hasn't got respect ever since then. Everyone ever just keep putting more obstacles in front of him, more obstacles in front of him, more obstacles in front of him. Why? Because he just, you know, he used to stay quiet. He used to be a quiet fighter. Floyd Mayweather Jr. used to be a quiet fighter. But he came out as soon as Arturo Gotti, he said, you know what, Arturo Gotti, you flat-footed, man. I'm going to completely destroy him. And Brian Kenny was saying, you know what, that's not going to happen. They were looking at him like he was crazy. But you know what, he just, you know, he's tired. You know, the guy just started being Floyd Mayweather Jr. But he has fought the best. Like I say to the Boxing Genius and everyone out there, he has fought the best that they put in front of him. What do I mean by he's fought the best? You know what? I'm not stating opinions. I'm not stating my personal opinions. I'm stating facts. Floyd Mayweather Jr. has fought the best. Say what you want. I know there was a time layoff as far as his retirement. That could be debatable, but it's still the bottom line. The dude has fought the best. If you want facts, okay, let's go ahead and start with the facts. Don't mind me, I'm tipsy right now, but you know what? We're going to talk boxing. That's how I do, you know, with my boys and stuff. We're going to talk some boxing. But if we're going to talk boxing, you better bring your artillery. You got to know what you're talking about. I'm not going to talk to you when it comes to boxing. All right, let's talk about Zab Judah, because I remember being at the Wing House when my boy Byron Bird with Wifey and Byron's ex, Tony, at the time. We were watching the Zab Judah fight. And the crazy thing about it, this was like in 2000, I don't even fucking know, man. I think it was like 2006 or some shit like that. Yo, the whole entire Wing House was going for Zab Judah. The whole entire Wing House was going for Zab Judah. These guys were beefing in Orlando on International Drive, just going crazy. Well, actually, no, it wasn't on International Drive. It was actually across the street from Universal Studios. There's a Wing House right there. But anyways, that's where we were watching it. And Zab Judah at the time was the IBF welterweight title holder. And Mayweather had his big white gloves and some shit like that. But he ended up I think he was fighting with 12-ounce gloves or some shit like that, or 10-ounce gloves, and just completely, Zab Judah put on a performance, but after a while, he broke him down. But Zab Judah he beat Zab Judah when Zab Judah was Zab Judah. There's dudes out there still like Danny Garcia getting credit for beating Zab Judah. What? We're talking 2006? That's 7 years ago when he beat Zab Judah. And people are getting credit like, yo, this guy beat Zab Judah, this guy beat Zab Judah, Danny Garcia. Yo, Zab Judah's old. We're talking about Zab Judah 7 years ago. 7 years ago. That's when Mayweather beat him, when he was the IBF title holder. And then the same year, he beat Carlos Vladimir in Vegas. And then that's when Carlos Vladimir was Carlos Vladimir. What do I mean by Carlos? And they were trying to say Carlos Vladimir was washed up at the time. Carlos Vladimir had the WBC welterweight title. He had the title. How's he washed up? He's the title holder. Same thing with Oscar De La Hoya the following year after that in Vegas as well. Oscar De La Hoya, Oscar De La Hoya was past his prime. But Oscar De La Hoya, you can't be past your prime if you got the WBC title. I think he had the middleweight title. He ended up winning the middleweight title. That shit is crazy. And then he beat Ricky Hatton. I remember Brian Kenny. He was saying on ESPN, saying, you know what, why are you ducking and dodging Mayweather? Why are you ducking and dodging Ricky Hatton? Ricky Hatton wants to fight you. And I remember Floyd Mayweather Jr. just going off, saying, you know what, I've been trying to fight Ricky Hatton. Matter of fact, I'll go to his own country and beat him up. That fight's going to happen. And guess what he ended up doing? Going to England and beating the shit out of Ricky Hatton when Ricky Hatton was the WBC undefeated title holder. Say what you want, but these guys all had titles, and they all were the number unos. And then he went on vacation, took a break, retired, say what you want to say, but took 2 years off. And that's when Pacquiao started doing his thing. And that's when Miguel Cotto was doing his thing. That's when Margarito was doing his thing. And that's one of the main, that's the thing that hurt Mayweather, is taking that time off. Why? Because Miguel Cotto, not for nothing, Miguel Cotto was bad. He was undefeated. This guy was a beast. And then Margarito was right there. That guy was a beast. Between Margarito and Cotto, that was crazy. And then he took 2 years old and he came back. I think he was a little bitter because he didn't have I think he lost his pound for pound. He was like, I got to come back to the boxing game. Ended up, getting a tune-up fight. Ended up being fighting Juan Marquez. But Juan Marquez at the time, he was ranked number 2. Number 2 overall on the pound-for-pound list. Say what you want. But he ended up fighting him. Ended up beating him, putting on a show. Clean slate. And then he fought the following year in 2010. He fought Sugar Shane Mosley. You can call Sugar Shane Mosley, you can call him old, but Sugar Shane Mosley beat the baddest dude in boxing. Who was the baddest dude in boxing at the time? His name was Margarito. Antonio Margarito. Now, you can nod your head all you want, but you got to know your boxing, because Margarito dethroned the other baddest dude in boxing, which was undefeated from Puerto Rico, was Miguel Cotto, the most feared dude at the 147 weight class. Margarito, without the hand wraps, this is before the hand wrap scandal. You can say what you want to say right now, but anyways, this is before the hand wrap scandal. Margarito beat the shit out of Miguel Cotto. So Margarito was the man at the time. Sugar Shane Mosley came in and beat the bricks out of Margarito. So what happened? That put Sugar Shane Mosley in the top of the game. It doesn't matter what Sugar Shane Mosley did in the time. He beat the baddest dude in boxing at the 147 division, which was Margarito, Antonio Margarito. And now, let's state facts. Don't take my word for it, because right now we're in the age right now that you can Google anything. Google Freddie Roach. Let me lower this a little bit. Google Freddie Roach having an interview with Sugar Shane Mosley. Sugar Shane Mosley kept going countless of times to his gym, saying, you know what, I want to fight Manny Pacquiao. And Freddie Roach was like, can you make 143? Sugar Shane Mosley was like, why do I got to make 143, bro? You fought De La Hoya at 147. He said, you know what, you're not De La Hoya. He said, what do you mean? You're faster, you're bigger, and you're stronger than De La Hoya. But guess who fought him in 2010? Floyd Mayweather Jr. Floyd Mayweather Jr. put on a clinic, and then Pacquiao was just like, yo, let's go ahead and fight Sugar Shane Mosley. Anyways, this is not about Pacquiao. The following, let's continue. And that's when, Sugar Shane Mosley still had the title, but Mayweather was like, you know what? Shea Mosley, you can have your belt because belts collect dust, bro. I got so many belts that I got. You know what? I don't even need your belt. And even though he should have got the belt, but he was like, "Yo, you can keep the belt." But anyways, excuse me. Let me some drink. 2011. Who did he take? You can say what you want about Victor Ortiz, but Victor Ortiz beat the undefeated Andre Berto. And Andre Berto was a rising star. Victor Ortiz came off a win. He had the WBC welterweight title. It was mandatory, and guess what? I know the fight was pretty shitty, you know, how the whole thing went down with the referee. He wasn't looking, but you got to protect yourself at all times, and Victor Ortiz ended up getting his ass knocked out. And then he beat my boy Miguel Cotto. Miguel Cotto was about his deal. Miguel Cotto beat the shit out of Margarito. You know, he's coming off a win. And Miguel Cotto had the WBA title at 154. Mayweather got that. You know, and I give Mayweather credit for beating Miguel Cotto at 154 because Mayweather, you know, he can be completely wet. He can drink a whole gallon of milk, a whole gallon of water, and drink a whole thing of Powerade. He barely cracks 150. So he came into the fight weighing like 148, 149, just like he's gonna fight Canelo. He's not even gonna crack 150, and then Canelo's gonna come into the ring weighing like 170, 160. I'll say like 160, 160. Just to be fair, but Mayweather's only gonna come into this fight weighing like 149, if that, you know. So the weight advantage, you know, Mayweather fights at the 154. People say, you know, he needs to fight the 154 weight division, but the dude can't even fight. He can't even make weight at 154 because his walk around weights, you know, that's his natural weight. Is gonna be like 149, 150 tops. Mayweather 150 tops. That's like saying Canelo Alvarez. Canelo Alvarez fights at 154. If Canelo Alvarez, you know, his everyday walk-around weight's 165, 170, dude, why don't you fight somebody at 170? See what happens to you. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, Mayweather has jumped up all them weight. You know, people were saying that everyone's, you know what, that Mayweather just picks ducks and dodge and stuff like that. But honestly, if you know your boxing and stuff like that, you'll realize that Mayweather has, besides I think it was Zab Judah and Juan Marquez, them two fighters, Mayweather has been the smallest. He's been smaller than every other fighter that he's fought against. He's been smaller than any other fighter. There's even, you know, De La Hoya had about 15 pounds on Mayweather. All these guys, every fight that Mayweather has asked, he walked into the ring as the smaller opponent. But no one looks at that. Nobody looks at that. They look at his trash talk and they just hate on him. But respect, you know, hate him or love him, you got to respect him, man. The guy, it's a smaller opponent. But then again, you got Manny Pacquiao, and they're just like, you know what, Manny Pacquiao, small man. Same shit with Mayweather. But anyways, let's talk about Canelo Alvarez. Canelo Alvarez is a bad dude. You know, I love Canelo Alvarez. He's young, he's hungry. But the only fights that I respect is when he beat Austin Trout. That's when I was impressed with Canelo Alvarez. I seen the talent. I seen him beat José de Lopez. José de Lopez completely dominated. He completely dominated Victor Ortiz, but he had to move up in two weight classes. He beat Sugar Shane Mosley, which was cool. But Sugar Shane Mosley, he's already lost back-to-back losses. He beat Kermit Throne, which was the legit, but Kermit Throne was already done. He beat out Alfonso Gomez, but Alfonso Gomez is a fucking bum. Ryan Rhodes, I always hated Alfonso Gomez, even when he was fighting on TV on that Sugar Ray Leonard show, whatever. I fucking forgot what that show was. But anyways, you know, boxing and stuff like that. But he beat Ryan Rhodes. Ryan Rhodes is a freaking bum. He beat Freaky Hatton's brother, Matthew Hatton. Anyways, the list was just bum after bum after bum. The only person that I honestly legit, I liked him when he beat Sugar Shane Mosley. He fought José de Lopez, but José de Lopez was catching him. Austin Trout, that could have been, a lot of people thought Austin Trout won that fight, but I think Canelo won that fight clearly. But I can see why people, you know, Austin Trout was the more active fighter. But was he landing? No, he wasn't landing any clean shots or anything like that. Canelo Alvarez was landing in the bigger shots.